Hi, my name is TechDave, and today we are looking at the future travel companion for me, but I'm going away, but the Lenovo ThinkPad X280. I'm going to dive into some specs, performance, and a bit of use case for it. But look how small it is! Yes! Let's dive right on in. So here is the shiny new ThinkPad X280, but before we start I was going to ask the usual, please like, subscribe, share the video with anyone who might find it interesting, and if you stick around to the end, let me know in the comments. So yeah, the star of the show, we've got the Lenovo ThinkPad X280. You see you've got the Think shutter there. So the basic specs are the i5 8250U at 1.6 gigahertz. Or is it 1.8? It says that the operating system reports 1.6 or 1.8. It's very similar to my T480, which I should see in B-roll, in specs, but it's the i5, not the i7, obviously. Come on, log in. Normally a very good fast fingerprint reader. Came with a licensed copy of Windows Pro 11. It's got 8 gigs DDR4, 2400 megahertz. It's soldered, but it's in dual channel, so at least we've got that higher bandwidth. It's got a 256 gig NVMe drive, obviously with the aforementioned Windows 11 Pro. I added in the wireless WAN port because it doesn't have wireless WAN antennas. I added a 128 gig 2242 SSD in the wireless WAN slot, so I'm potentially either going to use that for storing footage and content while I'm away, or most likely I'm going to install Linux Mint i3 Window Manager, something like that, to try and get a bit of lower battery life, because actually the battery on this, while we're on the subject, is not in great shape. It's about 50% of its design capacity, so you've got 1 hour 20 on full power with best power efficiency, plus if we apply these little cheeky things in Windows 11, that might eke out the battery power a little bit more. I tried my usual trick of a custom power setting in control panel. It didn't make much difference, so if you bang on battery saver, you can see it's still actually pretty good brightness wise. It's a 1080p touchscreen, which is actually pretty sick. It doesn't work with a stylus though, unfortunately. But as you can see, it's on 125, put it down to 100. You get a pretty decent bit of real estate, but I like it on 125 for the sake of touch. Let's go look at that battery. So yeah, it's at 50% of its design capacity. I'm probably going to try and replace it with a brand new one, because I've seen one for £40. We're still only getting 2 hours, so your mileage may vary on battery, but it's not bad for a second-hand device. I got it for £129 UK, so £129. The graphics are the same as my T480, Intel UHD 620. It does have Thunderbolt 3 for each GPU sort of usage, so we'll look over the ports in a minute, but yeah, it's got Thunderbolt 3, so I'm going to test it with my RX 6608 gigabyte in a bit, but for now we're just looking at the base system specs, and then we'll go further into that. Multi-touch screen. It doesn't work with stylus, although you can use like a capacitive stylus with it. It's not really built for that. As you saw, the fingerprint reader is actually good. My fingers are rags from playing the bass, so it didn't read it correctly, probably because of that, or I misplaced it. It is super small. Like, I can't. Let me give an example. Oh, I don't know how I can give a reference point other than my P51, because all my ThinkPads are stacked at the moment. But for context, that's a 15.6 inch device workstation. This is absolutely drowned by it. It looks like a toy in comparison to my P51. So, which actually is kind of pleasing to me. Like, I love the X series. Obviously, I'm a big fanboy of the X230. So it's nice to see something of that form factor with a bit more modern specs. Obviously, so it's an 8th gen CPU, so I can run Windows 11 on it absolutely no fine. It's not budged install, not a forced install, so that's really cool. Thin and light, 12.5 inch X series. So yeah, what am I going to do later? I'm going to look into a few things. We'll look over the ports just next in a second. I'm looking into a few different things, but I basically wanted like a cheap, light, problem-solving laptop designed for, well, basically my intention with it is I'm taking it traveling. I'm going up north. I'm doing like a little digital nomad traveling video that you'll see soon. And something lightweight, low spec, that can run Shadow PC, as my partner is messaging me, that I've been using quite a lot. I've also got on this phone that's being recorded now, because it's a Samsung S20 Plus, I've got Samsung DeX. So combined with this X280, Samsung DeX on my phone, and a Shadow subscription, I'm intending to do everything on a remote PC. Like heavy lifting wise, and then just have this on my phone and see what I can do to get by. So minimalist content creator video coming, so like and subscribe, look out for more, hit the bell icon if you want to see that, because that'll be one of my next videos. And then we're going to go into some pros and cons, and then we're going to look at other stuff. So ports wise, so obviously we've got track point, well, just device hardware overview. We've got the track point. It's pretty nice. It functions perfectly. I love the track point. I had to turn the sensitivity up, but I always do on my track points. The trackpad isn't pretty. It's not glass, I don't think. It's just a little bit of plastic, but it functions pretty well. It feels like it's responsive enough. I never use it. I'm probably going to disable it at some point. Fingerprint reader, 1080p multi-touch, obviously. As mentioned, we've got blank for a smart card reader, which isn't there. We've got USB A, which is always on. I think that's 3.1 Kensington lock. On the back we've got a slot where you would put a SIM card, but I haven't because I've not got the wireless WAN antennas. You've got your CPU inlet, I believe, and then the outlet is on the side there. So it's not great. I'm going to bring a laptop stand with me for general stuff, so it's not on my lap. I've got a metal stand because it does get some light overheating, especially this time of year in the summer. The battery was like 36 degrees, which isn't great. No docking connector, obviously. And then over here on the left, we've got USB-C for power delivery and video and USB. Got the docking connector, so it does have a docking connector, but not the one underneath. Another USB-A, HDMI, headphone, mic jack. That's Thunderbolt 3 port, so that's what we use the eGPU. It doesn't have a built-in Ethernet connection, so my rough plan with that is tether my phone, so either pass through Wi-Fi via USB, and then use a Bluetooth mouse and keyboard, such as my MX Master over there, 2S, and I've got another Logitech device as well, and a Logitech headset. I've also got this USB dongle, so I can just do basically the plan with that. So I tether my phone directly via the USB port for internet, then I can either pass through any Wi-Fi or just use 4G or 5G on my phone, which is pretty dope. And then I've got this device which has got SD card, TF card, Type-C, 2 USB, one of which is 2.0, one of which is, sorry, let me just focus that, 3.1, power delivery and HDMI. So I'm just going to have that in there as a one cable solution, which I've already tested. I believe it does work, if memory serves. Then I can just like leave that set up with all my stuff on a TV in my hotel room, which I've got my own little apartment, which you'll see in the next video. And then I can just have the laptop there ready to go in a little dock setup, and then just plug that in or unplug it when I want to actually use it. So none of that is necessarily relevant to this video. So the next thing we're going to look at is sort of, what would it be? Yeah, we're going to test some hardware, including the eGPU. So I'm waffling now, so let's dive right in with that. Cheers. So, right, we've got the X280 lined up with eGPU, and then we've got my mechanical keyboard and MX Master going in via the power delivery, and then the Thunderbolt 3. It's also, I don't know if you see that green cable is Ethernet running in, because there's no Ethernet dongle on this. So in a dock setup, that's definitely how I'd use it. It's just asking me what Audio source I want to use good. We've got the TV lined up. Right. So yeah, I've got the eGPU set up. I'm going to install, so I've got Steam on there already, probably to make an even comparison with the T480, which we'll do a size comparison with in a minute. Oh, it's bombarding me with nonsense. I'm going to install Skyrim Special Edition, I think, just to do a direct comparison of performance with the T480. So let's get that downloading on the Ethernet quickly. This isn't going to be a hugely long episode, but I just want to show like the rough performance comparison. I've also got Street Fighter and a few little budget games that would run natively on the device pretty well anyway, so let's ignore that. And look, my friend Bruno has just arrived. He's not even our cat, he just rocks up and doesn't go away. Hi Bruno. Right, see that? I'm filming, so I'll see you later. Let me pause and get rid of him. Such a friendly boy, and he does ever so love me. Right, so we've got the X280, it's absolutely tiny 12.5 inch device. And then I was gonna sort of try, without knocking everything everywhere, to do a side by side comparison with the T480. So obviously the build quality is Lenovo, so it's high quality, but if you just see how much that, how would I do that? But yeah, side by side, like the T480 is a chonk by comparison to that, and the T480 is pretty slim. Similar build quality. The noticeable differences are, other than size, is obviously this is a slightly more premium device. It's got the glassy trackpad. It's got more extensive portage and stuff. But and also, yeah, there's only one built-in battery in the X280, which mine is currently not great quality, whereas this has the bridge technology. I was looking at the T470, but realistically, I wanted a machine that I could run natively with Windows 11. So I was debating. I mean, let me know in the comments, should I get an X270 just for Linux for the future? Let me know right down there in the comments. Let me know, because I need an excuse to get one. But yeah, I mean, it's quite a dinky little setup. So I've got MX Master via the USB-C dongle that I showed you in the previous section. We've got Thunderbolt 3 port over there. I've installed the drivers. I installed the basic drivers, plus then I also installed the ones direct from AMD. So you can see we're idling. Obviously, Steam download takes quite a bit of CPU usage. That's just standard. It's 1.8, so the T480 I believe is 1.9, so that goes up to 4.1. So you're probably looking turbo of around 3.8 plus, as you can see there on the speed. Let me zoom in. It's averaging around 2.7, so very similar to the T480. Like under an editing load, T480 never got above 2.4 with any persistent usage, so it's similarly performing. You see the AMD RX 6600 is 15% utilization, because it's partially feeding the internal display, I would imagine, although that may be covered by the Intel UHD. It's only 4 gig shared memory. You've got Ethernet, which is utterly saturated because it's coming through the eGPU, not direct on the device. So as you can see, that's absolutely saturated, and it's only 100 megabit per second connection coming from my switch, because it's just a backup switch. Hovering around 6 gigs of RAM pretty consistently. But yeah, like, it's actually not bad. So we'll see when everything's downloaded. I'm going to come back with a bit of Skyrim Special Edition just for comparison to the T480. Also, yeah, checking the cards. Hopefully I remember to do it just about there where the tip of my thumb is for the... Oh my god, that's on 20,000 views now. You guys obviously like the T480, so let's try and get this video to even 5,000. It'd be really, really appreciated. So like, subscribe, share, all that sort of jazz. Yeah, I'm going to come back with Skyrim Special Edition, and then I'm possibly going to either tease what I'm actually going to use this device for, which is a digital nomad content creator on a budget style thing, which is what I'm aiming for in the next video. So again, like, subscribe, share, look out for that, hit the bell icon, blah 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 blah. But yeah, we're gonna look at Skyrim Special Edition next, so I'll see you with that. So first launch of Skyrim, detecting hardware settings set for ultra quality. So this is Skyrim. So on the last video it was Special Edition, so I might have to pause while it installs all the DLC content, because this is the anniversary edition now. Because I upgraded to use the Lenovo mod, which by the way is sick. I'm not running it on this because it's 500 gig and requires 16 to 32 gigs of RAM and like a beast processor, so this just won't be able to do it, as far as I remember, based on the Novice requirements. Plus, the mod is nearly 500 gigabytes, so that's bigger. That's double the size of the SSD. But we're sat under 60 FPS at the moment. Thank you. You're very welcome. Right, so I'll be back once it's downloaded all these updates to show you more about performance. But if you look up in the top right, I always have my bench frames per second up there, so it's just under 60 FPS, but that's just on this menu, so it may perform better in game. We shall see. I'll be right back. Okie dokie, here we are. So up there in the top right is the frames per second. Let me line this up a little bit nicer. We're just going to go into the main game, Skyrim, and show you a bit of performance. And then after this, I'm going to show you my little setup and do some teasers and then a conclusion. So let's just see how we do. So we're outside. It dropped to 40 when we loaded in, but knowing me, I'm using the wrong keyboard. Hold on. Knowing me, I need to put on TGM. Yeah, got mode enabled. Right. So we zoom into first person view. We've got locked 60. Into crouch so I can get into run. No, there we go. So yeah, we're pretty much sitting around 60 frames a second outdoors. I forget what I was doing, I've been faffing around. But yeah, it's performing pretty much just as well as the T480. The T480 was a locked 60, it seems to be a locked 58, so I'm not sure exactly if that's a direct comparison, but the RX 480 may be doing the heavy lifting. Let's have a look. So can I tab out? Can't tab out. Control delete. Task manager. There we go. And then so we're looking at. Oh, we're up into the 3 point. I don't know if you can see that. Hold on, let me line up. Sorry, it's a bit tripod. 3.3 on the CPU. So it's clocked up to a higher speed, 3.3 gigahertz, 3.36. Using 7.1 gigs of RAM. SSD is fine, which is on the main SSD, the C drive. Ethernet is fine. We're getting drag that over to this other screen and then pop back into Skyrim. And I'll just report. We're getting a 60% CPU utilization. Just turn up a bit there for you guys. 60% CPU, 7.2 out of 7.8 gigs RAM. So this is really maxing out the RAM capacity of this device. SSD is fine. You get 61% CPU utilization, GPU utilization. Sorry. So it can run it pretty well, pretty damn well. I forget that Shift does something different. I'm used to playing first-person shooters. Boom. Let's have a look, and then don't know what that does. Can't even remember. But yeah, Skyrim Special Edition seems to be, Anniversary Edition, sorry, running pretty well. So we're going to jump out now to discuss my little planned setup. So I'm going to switch some peripherals up and show you how I'm going to do it, and then possibly show you a little bit of editing on Shadow, because I'm not going to push this device too far in terms of trying to video edit on it. Plus then I'd have to install DaVinci and all this other stuff, and I've got limited SSD space. So we're going to look into just a little basic setup that I'm going to have while I'm traveling, and then we'll do some conclusions. So see you in that part of the video. So sorry about the slight depreciation in video quality. I've borrowed my partner's phone and it wouldn't stay at 4K. So this is my portable plan setup with this device. So we've got Logitech wireless mouse and keyboard via Bluetooth. I've also got a Logitech, I don't know what model this is, but really, really nice headset via this Bluetooth dongle here. Not Bluetooth, 2.4 gigahertz wireless dongle, whatever it is, audio dongle. And then we've got via the Thunderbolt 3 port using a Thunderbolt 4 cable going all the way down into my phone. And as you can see there in the background, it's not very clear on this camera. Let's see if I can zoom. No, it doesn't let me zoom, but it's passing through near enough the exact native speed, because what I can do, for example, with this is either use 4G, 5G, or I can tether to the laptop. So it's showing it as an Ethernet connection over there, but it's passing through my local Wi-Fi. So it means that I've got whatever speed the Wi-Fi is directly passed through, because I'm using Thunderbolt 4 or Thunderbolt 3 cable. As you can see, my internet is blazing fast. And then we've got my little USB-C dongle with a HDMI out, which could go to the hotel TV, or I could just use it natively on the laptop screen, because I've got this riser here, which is a really nice metal riser, passing a nice little hole there underneath for the CPU vent. And then I can plug in power or run it off battery via the power delivery there. I've got my dongle for my mouse, but I don't actually need that. That can go back because I'm running the mouse via Bluetooth, as you can see. My little MX Master. So latency might be an issue when gaming with it. Honestly, latency might be an issue when gaming. But based on previous experience, it's really manageable as long as you're not playing competitive FPS shooters, which why would you be doing that on Shadow anyway? And on the subject of Shadow, this is where we stand. So I've got wireless mouse and keyboard, I've got the laptop, I've got pass-through internet connection, which I can also put a VPN on if needs be. And then I've got my Shadow account, which means I can video edit in game at really high resolution and frame rate and pass that through to, say, the hotel room screen or whatever. And then I can video edit because I've also got my DaVinci Resolve install and Steam on here. So I'm going to get all these files passed through and then do a little bit of editing on this setup just to see how it performs. Obviously, from your perspective, that's slightly cut off. So this screen could be used, I haven't even set up DaVinci. This screen, the laptop screen, could be used solo. I'm probably going to try and use, because I've got a lovely apartment for my holiday, use if they've got a TV, use that. Otherwise, just use it on the laptop screen, because it's a full 1080p panel, so it's absolutely fine. And I'll switch over to my camera. I just wanted to show you the inclusion of the pass-through of the tethered internet on the phone, and then I'm going to switch over to video editing and show you a little bit of performance from that. So I'll be back with better camera work, better angle, whilst editing this video that you're watching now, please. So we've got a more stripped down setup now. As you can see, we've just got the laptop riser, the mouse mat, the Logitech keyboard and MX Master. And that's just about, it's a little below head height for me. So if I show you from this angle, it's just about usable. If I tilt that back there, we get the perfect sweet spot for me for editing. Now, I'm not going to do all this now on camera, obviously, because that'd be really boring. But I just wanted to see how it performs. So I've got to sync all my files basically via OneDrive on my phone, which happens automatically. I've got a copy of the footage I just had, and then we'll probably just dive into some conclusions. But I just wanted to show you the basic like simplified version of the setup that I'll be using while I'm in my hotel room. That's probably most likely these three peripherals, probably the headset as well if I'm video editing in a hotel room or whatever. Although I think it's a separate apartment, so that's going to be sick. So I can probably just not need the headset because, oh yeah, it's going to be badass. But yeah, I just want to show you what it's like without a TV backing up the setup. It's actually really cute. I love this little laptop. It's amazing. As you can see, my shadow is just shutting down, or I can just use it on my lap, just without power, and it gets up to 2-3 hours battery life. So you've seen my use case. I've sort of teased what I'm going to be doing in the next video. I'm going to be traveling northwards. We're going to look at setups there, digital content creation on the go, digital nomad style stuff. Like, we're going to be looking at how to do stuff on a budget, basically, if you're a content creator. So there'll be like, I won't say any more than that, but we're gonna look into it. Like, it's that sort of a passion piece of mine. I don't even mind if nobody watches it. I'm definitely going to take my mouse mat because it'd be really handy to have that. But even this mouse is really responsive at Logitech MX Master, so I can pretty much just use it on anything except a shiny surface. So I will be taking my mouse mat just in case. So yeah, we're going to get some conclusions on the go. See you there. Hi. So conclusion time. Right. First things first. We're outside in a blazing hot, sunny, heatwave summer day. Screen is legible to the naked eye, but it's not great. So that's worth covering. What have I said? It was extremely cheap. It was £129, 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gig SSD, blah 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 blah. Good price for what it is. The replacement parts like battery and SSD, obviously they're widely varying in price, but anything from £20 to £40 for replacement battery, which I'll probably have to spend. So we're looking 160 all in, realistically, for a fully working device. Extremely lightweight, thin as heck. It's X1 carbon level thin, and you can tell it's got the what do they call it? The reinforced. It's carbon fiber roll cage. I don't know about the top display. I haven't looked, but it's sparkling in the light, so I assume it's got that magnesium alloy there as well. It's good enough build quality. Like, it's obviously a bit cheaper than my T480. You can tell that it's a more budget device, but the X series are. They do tend to be. But it's good enough. It feels robust. It's decent quality. I like the feel of it. I would have loved for it to have an Ethernet port. It does not, and for my needs that's not really an issue, but for you, you might want to get a USB-C dongle or a USB dongle or wireless hotspot, something like that. It's mainly a Wi-Fi device, but I've been using mine via the USB port with my phone tethered using USB-C to USB-A, and I've got a bunch of different options. As you saw in the previous section, Thunderbolt 3 port for high-speed pass-through of the internet. That's actually probably a good solution if you can't, just with what you've got. And you'll see in the next video why that's going to be a game changer, I hope, fingers crossed. It's probably quite energy efficient because it's small and it's only a 47 watt-hour battery. Doesn't seem to run down particularly quick, so that's cool. As I said before, I need to replace the battery because I'm going on an 8-hour coach journey, and I would like this to be my companion on the way there and on the way back, and just be able to charge it once and not worry, because you only get USB ports on National Express. Although might be able to do some sort of cheeky USB-C, but it's only 5 volt 2 amps, I believe. I think it's just for phones, so probably not going to push enough to charge this laptop on the USB-C port. It's a great budget device. The keyboard is interesting. I don't know whether you can tell from this video, but it's quite small, and but it's not inefficiently small. It feels nice. Like the layout isn't actually that bad. There's a slight offset between the W and E keys, but I've used it for gaming and not really noticed. Like, it's not a big deal. But when you get used to it, it's fine. Like, it's fine. It took a little bit of adjustment. Like, I can't rapid fire touch type on it just yet, but I'm getting there already. yeah, so that's it, the X280. Look out for my next video. Please like, subscribe, share the video with anyone who might find it interesting. Hit the bell icon if you want to be notified about the next video coming up, because I'll be featuring this and the phone that this has been recorded on as my only devices for 1 week, trying to do a kind of content creation road warrior on a budget sort of thing. So they're going to be featuring shadow. I'm going to be using just this laptop, just my phone, and I'm going to be seeing if I can create something equivalent or even the same level as what I do in my home studio at home, but on the road. It shouldn't be too difficult, should be feasible. And I'm going to include budgets and all, and pricing and options and like monthly costs and all that sort of stuff, because it's quite an interesting opt-in model with Shadow as well. You can sort of back up all your important data on Shadow to external drive. So for example, my package has 512 gig. You'll see more about this in the next video, by the way. But you could clone the entire SSD from the Shadow machine to an external drive, download it when the end of your subscription comes up, and then you've got all that data that you can then sync back to Shadow when you want to use Shadow again for on the road. So it's an interesting sort of dynamic, and I love it. I've been TechDave. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you probably somewhere up north in the next week or so. Bye.